Hey.
Boom, boom, bing.
Black, yo.
And we're weird, yo.
And we're Bleirdos. Hey.
All right, guys. Welcome to Bleirdos.
Hi, guys.
I am Ebo.
Chris.
Safi.
And we are live from the loft.
Hey.
Thank God we're in the loft, honey, because live from the garage was not where it was at.
Listen.
It was,
I'm
it don't
sorry,
even go,
y'all.
though. It don't even go live from the garage. No, live from the loft, live from the living room. But live from the garage, we should have known from the beginning that was a problem.
I think if we did it in the daytime, the bugs
Yeah.
probably be settled, the beetles, and then we'll be good.
I mean, if it was the daytime shit, we could have did it in the crib.
All right. That's
Because,
real.
yeah, but you guys check out our bonus track that we have. People who record have to take more than one take too. Sometimes we got to take about 12 because I don't know if they was beetles. I don't know what them crunchy things was.
They
They
flew.
were beetles.
They flew.
The
and
boy said that they were beetles.
They got in your space. They got in your
and
face.
they didn't care. They were attacking us.
Like
He was like, I hear another one. They're like under the garage door.
Listen, I have a terrible, paralyzing fear of bugs.
it was
And
definitely
Do you?
tripping.
I was over there like, bruh, we had bugs when I was growing up, so I'm like, I'm moving out the way, but Crystal getting up, I'm like, please, like, I'm in my head, I ain't say this out loud, because I didn't understand how she was feeling at the moment, so I just kept it all in, but I'm like, can she sit down somewhere? It ain't nothing but a little bug.
Think about how Sean feels even when he see
Yeah.
like the smallest
Exactly.
dog, and he fixates like that dog wants to get me.
Yeah.
You're like, no, it don't.
I have a death, like, my heart, I can't focus.
What do you
nothing.
start to feel like? Like, what do you think is gonna
Like
happen?
a sense of panic. Like, I need to.
Do you think it's gonna fly in your mouth, in your nose, or your
I think
ear?
I said that. Like, I have a fear of like a bug flying into my mouth. But even just a simple fact of like it just being in my space, right? Because my mom will always be like, who's bigger? You or the bug? And I'd be like, shit, the bug, obviously.
Right now,
You can crush that bug.
I can't, y'all, I don't know where it stems from because like in my own house, I kill bugs like if they come in. But if I don't have to like deal with bugs, I take all preventative measures not to. Like,
really,
I will kill a bug, wait for it to die, and like its legs like crickle over before I sweep it out the door.
Dog,
Like,
I feel like my karma has not been right since because that first one that I killed, his little green eyes was just staring at me. We made eye contact, and I was just like,
That's too much.
I felt
That's
it was intense. I felt so sad. Like,
This is
am I
gonna
really
sound
doing
terrible,
this?
but
I feel bad.
I do not feel bad about killing a bug. Like,
Really?
No.
I feel like
I never thought about it until Ebony said it that like night. I'm like, dang, they are a part of nature.
well, because if we go with this idea that everything that's here it has
Right,
always
yeah,
been
that's
here,
what I was thinking
and that means
about.
that we've always been here. So like in some way or another, we are that bug, and when we lose a bug, we lose a little bit of self.
I'm a colonizer in the bugs world.
You know, you don't care.
Kill it up.
Smash out anything that get in your way. Dog, it was just like, oh, it was sad. It was definitely
I'm sorry,
sad.
but Ebony rode with me. She was out there smashing bugs for me.
I was definitely smashing bugs
I
and trying to
appreciate
talk
you.
at the same time and be normal.
And I'm running in and out of the house.
There like, what is wrong with these two? Can they just leave these bugs alone?
The
Well,
bugs wasn't leaving us alone. It jumped on the laptop. Like, no, that was it. I was done. Them motherfuckers was bold. No.
Yeah, I definitely feel bad, but like you say, for you, that's fine. I have to kill some more the next day, but whatever. It's one of those things. Once you do it, you're fine.
Yeah, I mean,
If y'all want to know why I sound like this, 2 reasons. One, Chris has really rolled out the red carpet for us. We got some strawberries, some
strawberries,
fresh coconuts, some
Blackberry molasses,
some blueberries. Some girl, that's Granny right there. I swear that's Granny. Oh, I can't wait to see somebody Granny.
Blackberry
Don't look. Slow down on that.
I was
No
saying
time
Blackberry
soon.
molasses. That was in the 2000s, wasn't it? When that song came out in the 90s or the 2000s.
I ain't never heard
I
that.
never heard that.
It's a group from Atlanta. Bobby V was in that group.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they from Atlanta, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm still lost. And we got some really good, what is this stuff called? Granola. Mm-hmm. And then we're all drinking some beautiful, delicious, fancy detox tea. So yeah,
I'm currently detoxing. So
I feel like I'm always detoxing, but I guess my detox start with the people around me first, and then I'll work on self. I got to get the toxic people out first. So
Amen.
I'm just saying, I'm always
that's real.
with some type of detoxing. Right now, it's detoxing people, and then I'm gonna get to me, but I gotta get away from people. I can tell somebody this morning, hey, do you move? Do you move? Yeah, if you gotta go. Like, I'm not even trying to keep toxic people around. Bye, honey. Bye. Like, I'm not.
Knowledge.
This
real. Is where we're at. But speaking of, I don't feel like we would all be in this place if it wasn't for the topic that we're going to talk about today. Right. We're in a good place, but part of it had to do with like going through this space that I don't even know if we acknowledged back then was like a bleared space of being black and weird in our HBCUs. And
or PWIs.
Or PWI, sorry. I was college. Well, you know what? You went to PWI, but I still consider that time a bleared time because of the people who you congregated with. So I guess like the things that we went through in college.
Can we specify what PWI and what HBCU is for those who genuinely may not know?
Okay, so HBU stands for Historically Black College or University.
Word. Yes. So yeah, back in the 1862, like right after the Civil War, there were some land grants given to colleges to make room for black people, and they gave them money for land, and they started these agricultural, mechanical type colleges to further teach us how to better make crops and still further live and work, in the mechanical world. So yeah. And one thing I did in my research found out was that a lot of these colleges were funded by white Republican men. So they kind of shocked me a little bit, but I guess it shouldn't have shocked me
that much,
right?
Weren't at one point like the Republicans, quote unquote, Democrats, and the Democrats.
Yeah, there was a shift, but just I don't know. I'm more so concerned with the fact that
the white people were funded in general.
Because at the same time, they also had their institutions, which gives us the PWI. What does PWI stand for, Chris?
A predominantly white institution, been here since day one. I don't have no historical facts on PWI.
Well, no, because the first institution was a black institution.
Oh no,
don't they say Timbuktu? I don't know.
That was cute.
Yeah, I think that was like Timbuktu. Like, wasn't that the first place of the education, university type education?
Definitely.
Yeah. I gotta fact check that, but they be like, go back to Timbuktu. That's where it all started. White folks. I learned something really interesting. We'll save it for another day, but okay, it's not interesting because it's a no. It's like dumb, but at the same time, Europeans been fucking stealing forever.
That's all they know.
I was studying something about the Arabic Empire, and they were saying like during the what did they call this age? It's gonna come to me in a second, but anyways, this is an age where like science was the key thing, but people will go to study science no matter where it was. And so at one point, the Arabic Empire was where the science was, and so you had different like scholars learning Arabic in order to go study in like the Arabic world or whatever, so they could get the latest technology. And so they were talking about this specific science, and I need to like go back and think about this.
I'm sorry, y'all.
That's Baby Bags. He's in the loft with us. But they were talking about this particular scientist. I need to remember his name. And so basically, like when he was writing down the things that he learned, it was in an Arabic textbook, right? The textbook was written in Arabic, but he had like his Latin notes off to the side or whatever. Okay. And so like when he published it, he put an Arabic poem or whatever in the front of the book that was by an Arabic scholar, so it could have that credibility. So like a lot of this is right before like, Europe goes into their colonial stage where they're just like pillaging the world at large and trying to grab everything they can. And a lot of it has to do with the science that they got from the Arabic world that they was able to develop and also like, further their research and put money behind. So
Come on with the historical facts.
No, but I just think we're talking about
black.
No, you have to have context. Like
like we're thinking about like the different things that we've learned and like these institutions that may have been created by white people, but they definitely weren't. They're not the holders of all things knowledge or whatever. Like they may be gatekeepers now, but they aren't like the founders of it, you know. So we definitely have to be thankful for the things that we have. But anyway, sorry, you know, I could talk about silly stuff all day.
It ain't silly.
Well, whatever you want to call it. I just let's get on.
Let's get
on down. Get on down the road.
You got any more info, Safi?
Oh, just Spelman and Morehouse are named after rich white people.
Yes, I did hear that.
I did not.
I did hear
that.
What the?
Yeah.
Sips tea.
Sipping my tea like.
That would have been a good photo, like a video.
Oh my God, I can't.
Oh, it was something else interesting that I found out. Like right now, I only wrote down 3. But there are currently three HBCUs that African Americans are the minority. All right. So Bluefield State College, that's in West Virginia. It's an HBCU. 8% black versus 92% non-black. West Virginia State University, 8% versus 92%. And Kentucky State University, 46% versus 54%.
Hold up, how did that happen though?
It's just that, of course, they started as an HBCU, but I'm thinking the population of people in that area.
My grandma is from West Virginia, and that is when they used to work in the coal mines in the Blue Ridge Mountains. I think that's what it's called. So when they finally started shutting down the mines or whatever, black folks started moving to the Midwest, like Ohio, Michigan, like Detroit, to work for like GM, going to Ohio, starting to work on like airplanes and stuff like that. So there's still black people in West Virginia, but I do think a large shift of them did move to find money elsewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Ooh, these facts.
I visited West Virginia State when I was out there. I'd never been to Bluefield, but West Virginia State is actually a really pretty campus. Like it's
I've been to West Virginia before, and I love the mountains. Like it's so beautiful there.
I feel about Tennessee. I've only driven through Tennessee and had to make a few stops.
I used to want to live there. It is beautiful.
It is so beautiful. Yeah, like everything on everything going up the south to the east coast is just like.
I love driving that interstate. I love driving up through there.
If you want to be in the car for 26 hours,
if I'm in the car with you. It doesn't matter.
Hey, music. We need music. What is these called? Podcasts. We good.
I know. You know what I love? We good. That's when I remember the first summer Safi and I spent together. I was like, okay, it's gonna get a little bit weird up in here because I was like super duper quick to put like a book on let's listen to this. I think we listened to I know we started the Miseducation of the Negro. I know we started Between the World. Did we start? It's like I have favorites that I love to introduce to people, especially like Between the World and Me, because that book like did something to me. I felt like it was like super duper what's the word I want to use? Like it was real and raw, and it made me cry. It brought tears to my eyes, and so it's something I like to share with people if I'm gonna be in the car for just a couple hours, because the audio version of it is like 4 hours. So like somebody riding with you, what they're gonna be like? No. Sometimes people do say no.
Let's do that this summer.
Yeah, we got.
I'm with it.
We gotta get on the road.
4 hours.
We gotta get on the road. Yeah, right? I'm with it.
So as
long as someone drives, I'm good.
I like driving in. We can switch up.
Yeah, I definitely don't mind driving.
Yeah, I'll switch, but y'all
get us. Let's go to the mountains. Ooh,
just stop. That
one time when we was going to the NO, I felt so bad for you because I was having like this existential. I don't know what it was, but it was like dissecting the world. Sometimes I wish I could record myself and listen back to it and figure out what it is. But I've done that. Like there's been times when I've like, been not in my right mind, and I've like written down everything that I've been thinking and been like, wow, this is this is how the scientists unlock the keys to the future.
Is this how they do it?
Is this how they do it? Because, like, what is all this? So we definitely need to get on the road. Yeah, we need to take Bleirdos on the road.
On the road again.
That would be
Just
beautiful.
Can't wait to get on the road again.
Let us know what city you would like for us to come and visit you in.
Yeah. Let us know. All right, with that being said, let's do some more. So let's talk about, like, I think we should start with PWI. Okay, so hold on, let's be clear about something.
Yes.
So stop.
Where did we go?
Okay.
What did we attend?
Right.
Where did we go?
Right.
Me. A&M. You. Woo. Booty. Don't ask me who wrote that or where it came from because I don't know. But I represent the illustrious Alabama A&M University in Normal, Alabama. I just want to let you know some facts, some little quick facts, all right? We have our own post office, postal code, our own little city.
Yeah.
It's located near Huntsville, Alabama. A lot of people say A&M in Huntsville. No, Alabama A&M is in Normal, Alabama. So that's where I attended college, and I was also in the band. So
I didn't know that.
Yes, I was a flag girl in the band.
What?
I had that was the best times of my life. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Traveling, practicing,
You
looking
better go
fine,
ahead.
slim, thick in the waist. You
I
know what I'm
can
saying?
actually see you
Slim
doing
in the
that.
waist. I'm sorry, hips and thick. That was my most fittest, slimmest time of my life. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That's beautiful.
That walking into that movement will do it to
That movement, 90s, in them 90s, marching and shit like that.
You better
all
go.
day.
And she got her Alabama shirt on.
Oh, you do. Hold up. Let's take this for the culture and for the website. But for the culture,
But that's
too.
that roll tide.
No, I mean, I don't have a problem with roll tide, but I only wear this because it says Alabama.
Okay.
It does represent the college, but I'm not a roll tide fan. You know what I'm saying? But my shirt does say Alabama because I'm repping Bama right now. Alabama, the state, not the college.
Alabama.
No
Let
offense.
them know.
No
How
offense.
does let them know? Oh, okay.
But, ooh.
Ebony, you want to go next?
No, because you represent the HBCU.
Yeah, I represent the
And
only
you represent
HBCU.
So
Not the only, but
I'm
the
like-
only one that solely went to a HBCU.
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
sorry.
good job.
So I solely
I'm like,
went to
what?
Chris solely went to a PWI, and my chant is not as tight as that at all. And I'm low key kind of embarrassed that I'm about to say it right now, but y'all bear with me.
Represent.
So this is a chant that we used to say at our football games and our basketball games.
I'm ready for this.
I had to pull it up, y'all, because I ain't never know this shit. All right. Now, this is the law of the jungle, as old and as true as the sky.
What?
And the wolf that shall keep it may prosper, but the wolf that shall break it must die.
Oh, shit.
As the creeper that gripples the tree trunk, the law runneth forward and back.
Hey.
For the strength of the pack is the wolf,
Okay.
and the strength of the wolf is the pack.
Hold up. But A&M, I feel like A&M has that church.
So a lot of people use it. It's from the Law of the Jungle, and most of the people like just change the words based on like their mascot or whatever. But
I'm like, holla.
I definitely went to a PWI with that bullshit right there. I was
like, I think that's A&M too.
I went to the University of Nevada, Reno, Nevada. I spent 5 years up there, and honestly, like, I don't regret my time there. I definitely think that it shaped me. It helped mold me into the person that I am today, and it helped me love and embrace my culture even more because even though I feel like I would have got that at HBCU, I feel like going in to being at a PWI definitely made me like open my eyes to stuff and recognize that I am just as important as anybody else. And so that self-advocacy definitely started kicking in while I was in college, and definitely standing up for myself and having those critical conversations with people who were just blatantly ignorant. So I am not so in love with my college, but I definitely am in love with it for the things that I learned, the people that I met, the experiences that I had. And I don't think that I would have got that anywhere else. I don't know. I can't live in the woulda, shoulda, couldas of the past. But like I don't regret it at all.
No, you shouldn't. You know, your experiences make you who you are, like you said.
Definitely.
Okay, so I represent the middle ground. I feel like as usual, but I like it. It's balanced, whatever.
Balance has fun.
Balance has fun. So I've seen both. I started off at a PWI. My brother went to the black college in the area, and he was there already. And I needed to go to school, and so he's like, "You could go to UT Tyler. Let me get you set up." And so he got me set up, and that's where I went. And I don't know what the chair is. I don't really care. I stayed there for a year, and I left. Okay. I mean, my brother it just wasn't for me. And during that time, I got to spend a lot of time at the school that my best friend went to. And I just was like, oh, okay, like, I really like this school. And that would be PV. You know, that's all. That's us. That's us. But at the same time, like, you know, we got a couple other chants that we say. And the most exciting thing about Prairie View is they have something every year. They have a new thing called the PV Shuffle. But it's like circa 2018, circa 2015. Like, whenever you're there, like, you have a PV Shuffle. And, like, somebody, I guess, I don't know who creates these things, but I'll have to set some videos out of y'all of everybody doing the PV Shuffle.
Oh yeah, that'd be dope.
But I definitely loved it at Prairie View. It was beautiful. The campus has just like really grown, and right now the old provost for Brown is currently the sitting president, trying to help them get things worked out. So the campus is really just growing and getting better. And I just love my time there, and I feel like it's crazy because I was a different black person when I went there than what I was when I came back, right? Oh. So what happened is I went there, and then I had a teacher who I was like getting hundreds in her class on like everything, and she's like, it's not rigorous enough for you, like you need to go somewhere else. And so I did a domestic exchange, and there were a couple different schools that I was gonna go to, but I ended up at Binghamton University, which I really love. I don't know, they stroll. You know, I was there for like 2 years, and then I came back from from Binghamton back to PV to graduate and have my first son. And yeah, like I think I was just a different person coming back. I think I understood what it was to be black at that time, what it was to be different, and as like Ralph Ellison would say, like, the veil was lifted, you know, very much lifted. Mm-hmm. And I got it, you know, I got it. I understood. I'm like, so like, just a quick story. I remember coming back and being in a class and having this girl, we were talking about the importance. This was in one of my African-American lit classes or whatever. And we were talking about like language barriers and how, you know, it's important, like, to present yourself a certain way in a certain space. And I was like, something happened, but I was kind of like not agreeing with her. And everybody was like, and I was like, wait. And like everybody just kind of looked at me again because I didn't agree. Yeah. I didn't agree that it was important that we learn to speak properly. And I was like, who are we trying to impress? And like the impression that we give is that like there's a certain like type of language and sound that is proper, and therefore ours is less than, and we need to conform to that to be okay, and we don't. Like, our language is just as valid. Like, Black English is a thing because when I say it to you, I communicate it and y'all get it.
Understand exactly
what you're saying. Like, so I might say something like, nah, we up out of here, and like, you get what I'm saying. Like, we up out of here.
Let's dip.
We're going, like, let's dip. Let's, like, it's, you know, or I'm gonna do this. Like, or I ain't gonna do it, you know, so there's a lot of our language that we diminish as less than, and at that point, people were looking at me crazy. Then my teacher was like, "Oh, I get it. You really didn't." She said she made some type of comment of like, "You really didn't understand what it was like to be Black or whatever." And I'm like, "Oh yeah," because my experience of, you know, you would think it would be better because I was in New York, not New York City, but upstate New York. But they were super racist, and I really got a glimpse of like what people like thought of us, and it was just so obvious to them that they would think of us like that, and it was just so obvious to me that I needed to say fuck y'all and get the fuck up out of there. So that's what it was. I enjoyed the experience. I learned a lot. I got to study under really great scholars, you know, Testament, Maria Lugones, like really great scholars, but it was time to
Go back.
To go back. Go back. Go back.
Question
go back
now.
to the woods, cause your team ain't got no spirit and your coach ain't no good. That culture ain't no good. So I need to go back to the woods of PV because that culture was no good.
So question though, isn't PV, don't they have like a working relationship or something with A&M?
So
Texas A&M.
I was trying to figure out the history because from what I
think they give them money.
PV's came first. And then A&M.
Oh yeah, because both of them are the land grant colleges in Texas. Like for Alabama A&M, our I don't know what to call it partner, but Auburn University is another land grant in Alabama.
So, University of Nevada it's the only land grant university in Nevada.
Really? Mm-hmm. Something happened, and from what I can reckon, PV was first. PV was first, and then later on, A&M came and kind of took credit. I need to figure out what the history is. I used to know it a little bit better, and I need to do better. But it's only so much I can store. But yeah, so something. I'll figure it out.
Uh-oh.
No, I was just thinking about Ebony's situation and your situation, how y'all were involved around a diverse group of people. But for me, my college experience was mainly black people. I'm trying to think. I can't even remember if I had white professors. I'm not going to say at the moment I did not. But I can't remember any standout to be white professors at my school that can resonate with me at the moment. I'll get back to with y'all on that one.
So at PV, I had a lot of different professors,
really?
Like black.
We did have some that were not white and that were not black, but not. I don't remember no Caucasians.
Yeah, I definitely remember Mr. Palmer, Miss what was her name? Dr. Palmer, I can't remember what the lady name is. She taught like one of the British lits or something about like Greek mythology or some shit. We was a black school, but we didn't necessarily focus on like black studies. You know what I'm saying? We were very small. We were very small as well. So that was another thing that I didn't get this to experience.
Your college was small?
There. Yeah, like 8,000.
Okay.
Like super small, like 8,000. Yeah. You know, like I had classes there where I was in the class with like 4 people. 5 people, and like a class that they were gonna throw out or whatever. So like every once in a while we would have like some super duper like selective class that would come up, and of course I would want to take it because I was an English major, so like I didn't want to take the same stuff
everybody
over and over. So I took like a history of I took a like children's literature class or something, and we studied children's lit.
No, I had to take all them science classes. Bless up! Oh Lord Jesus.
Yeah, I took
calculus 1 and 2. Oh my God, calculus. Oh Lord Jesus.
Yeah, I took it.
I made it though, Lord. I made it. Amen. I made it through.
Definitely. But yeah, we had a lot. We had some white. We had some black. We had like some. Asian of all sorts, South and, East. Like, we had pretty much everything, yeah. I remember because one of my favorite professors, I don't know, it's hard to decide between Mr. Smith and Dr. Matheson. She was Indian, I think, and her last name was Matheson. I think she married, like, a white dude. Her first name was Yamitri. I probably shouldn't be saying her first and last name on the air.
I was trying to think of my favorite, and it wasn't for another reason but because he was funny. Mr. Thompson, he was from South Alabama, but I swear he used to always be drinking coffee. I swear he had some liquor up in that coffee because he sounded like he was drunk just by, maybe that was just how he talked.
We had a school like that. We had a school like that in middle school. His name was Mr. Cavassier. We called him Mr. Cavassier. Cavassier up in his stuff all the time. Mr. Cavassier.
I'm trying to think. So I went to a relatively large college, and none of my classes, I think maybe one of my classes, which was for my minor, which was gerontology, was small. Like that one was probably like maybe 10 students, but it also was an elective for like my major. So it's like people were taking the class but didn't necessarily like have a true interest in gerontology. But actually most of my teachers were white men. I remember my math and science classes being like not white, but majority of like my major classes, they were definitely white. I had a few white women teachers, but I didn't have any black professors. Most of the black professors at my college, at my university, were like in the journalism department or like in business. But I'm trying to think, for public health, community health, it may have just been the classes that I was taking or the professor that I chose, because I definitely was on Rate My Professor, and at that point I didn't even care. I didn't care what you looked like, as long as you wasn't a fucking pain in my foot. I didn't care what you were. But
we didn't really have a choice then. But I definitely
didn't have a choice, because I had to take these science courses. This who taught it. This one was available. Can I fit it in my schedule? So we had I don't want to say it's relatively small, but I just know like the size of a regular high school classroom, 20 to 30. That's how big.
Imagine being in a chemistry class with 230
other hell no.
Well, that's how it was when I went to UT Tyler. Like in my history classes, it was huge.
And then you had and then you broke off. So say you went to your actual chemistry class twice a week, but then you went to go see your TA maybe 3 times a week. And so that's where the classes were smaller. But I don't even think I remember my kid. I don't even remember. Y'all, my memory is terrible to begin with, so I don't remember really too many of my professors' names. But
I remember my history class was like big like that, and we only met with the TA. But I remember the teacher, because out of all them people, he knew who I was. And I wouldn't say that was necessarily a good thing, because he used to say really crazy things to me or whatever, and I was like dumb and ditzy, so I just would be like, okay. I thought it was funny. I wasn't going to school at first to learn, I promise.
Who was?
Okay, you gotta get that fun.
Some people do, but I feel like I was so vacant, like I just didn't understand.
Maybe because you didn't necessarily want to be there either. I feel like your sense of where you're at really does play into like your mental state. Yeah. Like if you really don't want to be somewhere, like you are not going to be involved or really throw yourself into something, because that's not where you want to be. I know I definitely struggle with wanting to like stay there, because initially I got accepted into Hampton. I think I was telling y'all that. And Hampton had only offered me like $8,000 off a $20,000 a semester scholarship, and I graduated with $20,000 in student loans, which I didn't need to take out. So if you are currently going to college or thinking about going to college,
no to the student loan.
That's what I was struggling with. Literally on the way here, talking to my student loan people.
Listen, and so
fuck Sally Mae, by the way.
So Hampton's tuition at that time was $20,000 a semester. So it didn't.
One semester.
It didn't make sense to me to go there. Like the financial gain or the financial loss was just too high for me to say that I was comfortable going there. Coupled with the fact that I had some family stuff going on at that time too. So it just made sense for me to go somewhere where I literally had a full ride going to college, but I decided it's hard when you broke, you know what I mean? Yep. To not take out a student loan. And then I ended up taking out a credit card later on, but I met some people who was talking to me about okay, you take out these student loans, but put some money down on your interest and stuff. So when you graduate, your interest won't be as high, or you won't have any interest, and then you pay it straight off your student. And just learning stuff like that. Did I apply it? No, but I had the conversations. You know, I wasn't ready.
That's really good shit, though. That's really good. To know, I didn't nobody was talking to me about that.
Not at all.
At all. Nobody was talking to me about that, and so I'm struggling as it is, and it's I want to go back to school, but I'm not. Somebody got to pay me. I can't just go. Yeah. I can't. And my mom is always well, I know they offer loans, honey. Listen, loans is not where it's at.
That's how I feel about grad school. I had to put myself in a position to where I was no longer going to be taking out student loans. And so over the course of my almost, 4 years of being here, I've developed a sense of I know how much it's going to cost me to live day to day, so then I can start saving towards going back to grad school and stuff. So
what's interesting is that you talk about Hampton and the cost of it, but are they putting any of that money back into those?
Come on now, because you can't sit with us, Hampton.
You cannot sit with us the way that they're. So let's talk about I think one of the most disappointing things that I've been learning over like recently as we're looking into what's going on with Hampton, we stand with y'all in solidarity. Reach out to us, let us know like if there's anything we can do to help y'all. Just, you know, in our other platforms and the other things that we do to spread the word about what's going on there, because they're not putting no money into their school. And on top of that, the school is not doing anything to investigate different allegations that they're making about sexual misconduct. Yep. They're not taking it serious. It's a lot of nepotism going on. The lady who's responsible for handling those claims.
What is it? The title? Is it Title 9?
Something. She's some coordinator. I'll look it up real quick. But she's the daughter of the president.
Yep.
And so, of course, they don't want the school to look bad.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? They want to take all your $20,000 a semester and put them up. And so, you know, the school is just structurally falling apart. The food is moldy.
Disgusting.
And, you know.
They got like phones and cameras on campus that don't even work. They
have panic buttons that don't work. You know,
you go.
Different things that are just not coming together. And so it's sad to hear. And as HBCU, like as the person who went to HBCU, I understand that like, yeah, we gotta do better.
We do better. We also, like, the funding that goes towards HBCU is, like, atrocious. You know what I mean? Like, they are not getting enough money per student from, whether it's a land-grant institution or just coming from, like, the Department of Education, period, or whoever is funding these schools. And that has always been, like, a hot topic as well, you know, but that also does factor into, like, alumni, too. So, like, I look at, like, the fact that I went to a PWI. I'm an alumni, but I don't necessarily give to my school because one, I already owe y'all some money, so I ain't
struggling. Still paying Sally Mae. Get that money from Sally Mae. If you want some alumni money, ask Sally Mae for some of our money.
Because they owe us a lot of shit.
I also get newspapers or like a magazine from my school every month. And you can flip to the back of the book and you see people who are like donating money to the school regularly, and they're like diamond donors and platinum donors and gold donors and all this stuff. And I'm just like, y'all obviously ain't missing no money. Y'all got galas and all kind of shit every single year. Like, and I'm just like, y'all not gonna miss my little $5 contribution that I could give y'all a year right now. So maybe when I get some more money, I'll consider donating to my school. But
because right now I'm donating to NPR, and I'm sorry, I listen to NPR every day. I don't deal with TV like that, and I love
no, that's
really,
real.
but when I look at the amount of debt I done went into because there was not really proper education, like, yeah, you're right, they can't. Shit, I'm real close to saying PV can't sit with us, but I love them. They bring me, so I leave them alone. But Kelly Harvey is who we were talking about. Yeah, she's a Title 9 coordinator. And her name is Kelly Harvey. And she's the daughter of President William Harvey, who has been there for 40 years. 40 years?
We ain't even got to look at Trump for 40 years. Come on now.
Shit, we barely gonna look at that Negro for 40 years. And this nigga got that time. Nah, honey, he not. Trust me. Did you vote?
Yes, I voted.
I voted.
I did not vote. I haven't voted since I don't know when.
Really? Mm-hmm. I had to because Trump gotta go.
Yeah.
And it starts like with these elections. Trump gotta get the fuck up out of there. I'm sorry. And I don't even care about our government, but I'm just tired of seeing his name come across my news feed. Yeah. Like that's to start me. So that's real. That it was something that you said that triggered something in me. But so when I think about like, I think a lot of people, when we talk about things like Black Lives Matter and just like Black people in our situation in general, I think we tend to think that these little mishaps happen in a vacuum, right? Mm-hmm. And we don't realize that it's a cycle. Like one thing, that's why they say racism is systemic, right? It's a system. So it informs every part of our life. So if you think about a school like, you know, a HBCU, like Johnny probably getting this job that make $100,000 a year, and Daquan probably like getting passed over. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to say the most stereotypical Black man. We could say Thomas the Black man, whatever you want to say, but he's probably getting passed over. Definitely. You know, or having to take a pay cut or not being offered as much. And let's not talk about the way Black women get paid. And so in terms of our ability, like the amount of debt that we take in and the sponsorship, like think about it. a lot of us are first generations, a good group of us.
Yes.
Like our parents are not helping us because they can barely make it through, so we got to take out loans. Whereas Sally over here maybe going to school on a scholarship, or she may going to school with mommy's money,
or she's a legacy,
or she's so there are a lot of different things that contribute to our ability to like be able to financially uphold the responsibilities that come with the school. So we have to think of it as a community. But yeah, like they have this generation, like you said, they have this generational legacy that they're able to fall back on. And so we think of these different things like, hey, Black Lives Matter, but it's like, shit, if I'm making if I'm coming out to a job that's like $100,000 a year, $500,000 a year, you know, whatever, then yeah, I can give back. You know what I'm saying?
Real.
And but for
that's
me,
real shit, man.
50-something thousand, like I
with 3 kids, a husband,
with 3 kids, a house, a mama, like
2 cars,
2 cars, students that I gotta deal with. Like shit, it be days my students don't have nothing, and I'm like, here you go. I'm sorry. Like it's
I don't think the breadth of our love for our university should not be expressed in ways of giving back financially. Like it should be other ways. Like build me a door with my name on it or something. Like I don't know. Give me an opportunity to highlight or spotlight or give back to those students who look just like me. And I think that was partially the reason why I even stayed, was because I found a community of people that look like me, that allowed me to come into their space and recognize that I'm not alone at this PWI. Because even my class when I went in was the largest class collectively of Black African American students to attend UNR at one time. And so after that, the numbers continuously like increased. But it's just like, it had I not had the friends that I had at that time, had I not had the mentors that I had at that time, or the opportunities given from both Black and white folks, like I probably wouldn't have stayed. Like I got my first job out of word of mouth. I didn't even apply for it. Like dude was like, hey, I'm leaving this position. I told them about you. Do you want this job?
Wow.
And I got it.
Yeah, well, it's crazy because when I was at A&M a few weeks ago with some students, they were like, you know, it's always said that A&M, that Aggies hire Aggies. And I'm like, nigga, that's code for white folks hire white folks.
Exactly.
Because that's what the school predominantly is. And so it's that sense of favoritism and nepotism in a lot of cases that gets them along. But, you know, I'm over here complaining about what I can't give back, but I'm sure I could give back $5 on a day when I'm real tired and I didn't drink my coffee and I got to go to McDonald's. Because if I think about 8,000 students giving $5 back, that's $40,000 that's put into the university that can go into like an interest-bearing account, you know what I'm saying? And if you think about the years of that, you know, so maybe our alumni association need to do better trying to solicit that $5 membership, you know,
instead of that $1,000 right out the gate.
Or no, just in general, I don't hear shit from my alumni.
Oh, you don't hear that?
In the beginning, I used to hear from them, but I think maybe I moved too much and they probably lost track of me.
No,
man, I get emails, phone calls, this magazine. I get invited to the annual alumni like special football game they have for the alumni that every year. Like I'm just like,
so listen, I was a part of a academic fraternity.
I wish y'all could see Emo's face right now.
I was a part.
Did y'all have the pledge?
No, I mean, it was an honor society.
Oh, okay,
so you just have to have honors. Like we just have to pledge our time to get those grades out and then apply for the first. But it was Sigma Tau Delta. I think that's what it was. I don't even remember. But I get more information from them than I did the alumni. Like they still be sending me emails because my email has not changed since high school. And they still be sending me stuff about the Honor Society. And I'm like, look, y'all, I didn't even walk. I didn't go to my graduation. I didn't walk across the stage.
I was in our magazine, my graduation year.
Really?
Yeah, they had a whole picture of me walking off. I said, damn.
I just wanted my honor card.
Patti LaBelle, she gave me my certificate.
Patti LaBelle. No, you know what's so funny? So a guy that I was dating him at the time, and he graduated. When he graduated, Rick Perry was there. Rick Perry was the one at our graduation, right?
He used to be the governor
from
Texas,
Republican. God. Anyway, and so, do you have tissue? I want to talk about your paper towels.
I do.
So he was the person, and it's so funny because like, you know, I worked on the newspaper. I used to write for the newspaper. And so like if you Google my name, you're gonna see just a bunch of news articles. And so they I'm covering my nose because I need to blow it. But the tissue's coming. So they I sick, y'all. I sick.
Get it out. It's better out than in. It's better out than in.
A student told me that before too, and it changed my mind about going to restroom in public. But anyways, he when he walked up there to get his diploma, like to get his degree or whatever it is that you call it, shit, I don't know. Our president of our university was real nervous because like he knew he worked for the paper, and we had been kind of like making a little bit of a fuss all year about like should he step down, he doesn't come to the students, kind of like what Hampton is trying to do, but ours kind of worked a little bit better because he was all up in the MSc meeting students and stuff. And so when he came up there, our president was nervous. And so you know how they move your tassel over? When they went to move his tassel over, it came off. And he was like, oh no, my tassel has succeeded from my cap. Because remember Rick Perry was talking about Succession?
Yes.
Wow.
And so Rick Perry was like, just the look on their faces was like crazy. We didn't know what was going on until way after the fact. Because it was like, what happened? Like we could see the tension from our seats, but we didn't know like what was going on. So... yeah, they be bringing all kinds of interesting people in there. Like, why would they bring Rick Perry to a black people graduation? I don't get it.
Because at the end of the day, not all your kinfolk, your kinfolk. So it's a lot of...
and that'd be real sad. Them presidents, they need a little shake up because they've been in there and they know how to play the game and hustle and tussle and shuck and drive.
Money. That's where it comes from, a lot of these presidents.
It's sad.
And it's like that money is... even though HBCUs are very underfunded, they are getting some money. But like you said, where is that money going? Like, obviously, in Hampton's case, it ain't going towards the food. Okay. Obviously,
they have both.
Obviously,
they housing.
They dorms. Obviously, it ain't going towards safety. Yeah, and it's just
crazy.
like, if I were a parent, I know y'all have kids, and I'm considering sending my child to a HBCU, after reading a story like Hampton, I'm going to be like, nah,
because I've always looked high upon Hampton. I always see my kids possibly going there. It's like one of the better, like, you know, black institutions.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would have went had the money been right, but they wouldn't try to pay you, girl, anyways. But it's just like, no, like, I would strongly have to reconsider, like, and tell my kids, you probably should apply for a PWI as well, or another HBCU.
Should black folks who graduated from PWIs put money into HBCUs?
I think that there is a duty to do so, right? Because just because you go to a PWI for undergrad don't necessarily mean that you're not considering going to HBCU for graduate school. I might have more of a connection if I decide to go to a HBCU for graduate school than I did for my undergrad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So rather than giving my money to a PWI who may need the money, I know that there's definitely a need at this HBCU that I went to. Or even still, like, I would get involved. When I first moved out here, I remember going to stuff with my old roommate at the time at TSU. You know what I mean? Like, just like being involved, like on a campus like that I didn't even attend. And so it was just that more like community feel. I feel like I could probably exist in either spaces just because I've had to continuously exist in either spaces, but the comfort level is definitely more there. So yeah.
I don't know. I just think about like they, you know, we talk about alumni and how much they giving back, but our HBCUs pump out like a lot of dentists, a lot of doctors, you know, a lot of lawyers.
You got Meharry, you got Howard.
Xavier pumping out them pharmacists like hell. Yeah.
So it's just like, should they go back and invest in...
And I hope, and I want to say people do.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that they don't.
I think about that because I'm like, I don't know, like how much of it is an obligation for the culture. Like, do you owe your culture something or do you owe your PWI something, you know? And I
think that there's a responsibility.
Yeah, that's what I mean, because I'm saying owe, but I don't think owe is the right word. But like, does it help? Does it help? Yeah, so...
Stop, remember?
Yeah, so it's just, I don't know, like it's just been on my mind, like what do we owe?
Yeah.
But I also kind of wanted to think about like what was it like being a Black person in these institutions? Because I don't know about y'all, but I feel like I've been awkward as fuck all my life trying to make it happen.
Yeah.
I swear to God, like even in high school, like I felt like I never really fit. I never really quite fit. Like now I'm finding my tribe, but I definitely did not have my tribe. I was always like mishing and mashing, like, you know, trying to scoot into spaces that weren't necessarily for me, but like dealing, you know?
I can relate to that because I think about my cliques in high school, my clique, I guess you would call it. But yeah, it was just definitely kindred souls of people, like, I guess, I don't want to say the smart kids, but that's what we were known for, like, academic wise. And then a few of us were in the band, and then when I got to college or whatever, my first year of college, I went to Xavier. I knew nobody, so I just had to click with the girls on my floor, second floor, St. Joe. You know what I'm saying? So all of us kind of clicked up because we were already just right there with each other. But then when I transferred to A&M, my best friend, you know what I'm saying, I hung out with some of her friends and a lot of guys that I knew from my high school. I would hang out with them. So I didn't really venture out of people that I already knew, you know, when I got to A&M. Until I got in the band, and then those people, I don't want to, I guess weird, band was weird, the people in the band were weird, but they were some of my favorite people that I can think back to, you know what I'm saying, besides my two best friends, you know what I'm saying, they weren't in the band, but the band people were definitely weird, and I definitely fit right in when I was in the band, and it was just amazing. It was an amazing experience.
Twirling that.
It was an amazing experience. Like every day after we would meet up 3:00, we would all go to the calf at 6 to 7 for lunch. I'm sorry, for dinner, and then we would go back to our last wave of practice from 7 to like 10. So that was like Monday through Friday. Games on Saturday. We might have had Battle of the Band on Sunday. So that became my clique, the band. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah.
Man, I don't have no cool stories like that. I always felt like I've always had very limited amount of friends. Like I'm not a social person. Like I'm really not a people person. And I'm really like an introvert by nature. So it's just like I hung out with the cool kids, but was I a cool kid? Sure. I don't know. Like I just always operated. Like I think I always moved in and out of groups. Like I can sort of like, I can sort of mesh with any group. Like it wasn't, in high school, I was taking like all these honor classes and stuff, and I remember like wanting to not be in honor classes anymore so I could be in classes with people that were my friends. Like I just remember being around people that they weren't my friends like that. And so initially I actually decided to go to UNR at the last minute. And so my roommate, Joe, shout out to you. We actually, our families got together at Applebee's and decided we were gonna go together. And so upon going to UNR, that was my only friend. She's definitely more social than me. And when she went up for the college visit, she had met some Black folks, and she was like, "Oh, I know this dude," and da 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 da. And I'm just like, cool, cool. So I remember walking into my English 101 class, and it was two other Black girls in there, and I like walked right past them, like there wasn't no seats by them, and like I didn't know them. Like I'm really awkward and shy when I first meet people. Like I don't know how to speak. I've gotten better, but I definitely have always been a shy person that way. And so I remember one day Naya came up to me pretty much and was like, "Bitch, you about to be my friend. Like you're not about to keep walking past me and like not saying anything." So that's sort of like how that cultivated itself. And then we ended up being like this group. It was a group of 6 of us at first, but one got kicked off the island, so then it was just 5 of us. And we were kind of like the group, and like those were my best friends in college. Like they're still my best friends to this day, and even though we don't talk every day, we can pick up where we left off. Like it doesn't matter. That love is still there no matter how many ups and downs we go through. Like
that's so real.
They got me through, and not all of them finished either, but that's okay. Like even though they didn't all finish, we were all still there for each other. They came to our graduations. Like the love, when Joe graduated from TSU, they flew out here. Like there was no, like, I'm not going to support you. And so I think that like, that's beautiful too at the same time.
That is beautiful. That's a tribe. That's beautiful.
Yeah, they rock with me and I rock with them, so.
Man, I think I'm that black person now. Like, whenever I be, at work, when new black people come in, I be like, hey, girl, how are you?
No, for real.
You want to come, and I always offer that olive branch because I remember what it was like being on the outskirts, or, like, not knowing if I fit well, not knowing how to start a conversation, like, being afraid to, like, talk to black girls. You know what I'm saying? Like, just super awkward all the time, And it's crazy because, like I said, I wrote for the newspaper, and then a couple of people on the newspaper were also on the Quiz Bowl team, and so I would hang out with those groups, and they were like super nerdy, and I found it fun, and so
nerdy and dirty,
very dirty. That's an understatement. Dirty. Excuse me, y'all.
Dirty.
Very nerdy, very dirty. But just very cool people. And so that's what it's funny because this is a long story, so I won't get into the backstory. But it's crazy because I ended up living in a house with like, I don't know, 6 to 12 guys.
6 to 12.
Damn, that's a big
What
range.
type of house, first of all?
So we called it 709 because that's where the address was.
Okay.
And it was like super dilapidated, and it was like very old, and there were like a lot of rooms and back rooms, and people would move in and out.
It was a cool house.
It was
I like those type of houses.
It was so cool.
I like those type
and
of
so what happened is, like, one day we came home, and it was like this random guy on our couch. And we was like, hi. And he was like, yeah, I used to... so I dated a guy that lived in the house that I met through, like, a group of friends. A long story. Robert. It was Robert. I'm tripping. Like,
I was like...
Brother Robert.
Yeah, it was
Brother
Robert.
Robert.
Yeah, it was Robert.
What is Robert? But I wasn't sure.
Yeah, so I don't think I dated. We still kind of trying to date. We trying to keep our dating together as a married couple. But I guess because it's like I met them through another guy, so I didn't go there, started hanging out there originally to date Robert. I was dating somebody else, and then I started dating Robert. But we came home, and a guy was on the couch, and he was like, yeah, my homeboys used to live here before I went to jail, and so I just came back looking for them, and they wasn't there, so, but old boy that opened the door said I could get some rest, so we was like, all right, and just kept it moving. So that's what I mean by, like, 6 to 12 people, because at any given day, it was more people coming and going, and... Yeah,
did y'all have a lock on your door?
Yeah. I didn't really have to use it, but yeah, I guess, like... It was fun though, but they were my tribe, those men, and there were a couple girlfriends that were in and out or whatever. But yeah, those guys were my tribe, and then that they kind of gave me the confidence that I needed, and I think it was difficult because by the time I got to Purview, I was in this phase where I felt like it was okay to be smart. Like, I had always been smart, but it had always been, like, effortless. Mm-hmm. And so, like, when I wanted to try, it was fine. And when I didn't want to try, like, I would fail. But it was fine, but I would fail, And so, in college, I had to, like, find a stride because it wasn't one of those things where I could just, like, goof off and still get it done. So it took me a long time to, like, find my stride, and so I became like super nerdy, and I also like dated a guy that was super smart, and so I felt like it was an unspoken competition between us that like he was winning and I was jealous of, and I needed to step my game up.
Yeah.
And it was a hard situation to be in, and so I just remember going to class and like, yeah, being bleared, like, I don't think people wanted to be my friend because I was cool. I think they wanted to be my friend because they wanted the notes. Like,
so you can help them out.
So I can help them out.
Making the hundreds in the class.
Yeah, so I said that at the beginning, like I was really scoring, I was doing really well.
Yeah.
I was in honors, and they was like, like you shouldn't be in a situation where you're doing this well. So like you gotta go, and so like so it was very interesting because I would be like helping out, and I mean it's like my GPA when I first started there was like horrible. It took me a long time to like get it together because I just was like, oh, I don't need to go to class, I'll be fine. And it wasn't one of those situations. It's like you needed to get the information.
Gotta go.
So it took me like at least 2 semesters to like get back on track, and so like that kind of killed my GPA, but I still ended up graduating honors like in my academic field, so it was fine. But yeah, like it was, I always definitely felt awkward. Like a lot of people dressed up. It was a fashion show. You dressed up to go to class.
Wearing heels to class.
You wore heels.
I had to walk too far, climb too many hills to wear heels to class. Okay, people, I could not.
We called it the hill. It was the hill.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Hills.
Y'all was the hill too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe that's the thing for black colleges. Yeah. That's why when we were talking and you said that y'all don't have hump day, I was like, I thought all black colleges had hump day.
No,
you know,
we didn't have the hump day.
Man, hump day was amazing. But yeah, so like I didn't dress up on the hill. I just wore like jeans and a t-shirt. And I remember my best friend being late to school because, you know, she had to like put her makeup on. It was a real fashion show, like legit, you know. And there were these definitely several factions. And so I found a faction with people who like, I remember like this guy told me, he was like, the people who really care about you would care more about like what's in your head versus what's on your head, you know, because I was like fussy about hair and fussy about those things. And it's crazy because a year or two later I shaved it all off and was like, fuck it, I don't got time for this shit. Yeah, because I needed to like come into my own, so it was rough, you know. But yeah, I was very awkward and out of place, and so I think that's where I am now because I'm like, you gonna love me or you ain't.
That's
you know?
real.
You gonna love me or you ain't.
My school was not a fashion show. I mean, this was a point where like Uggs was real big. Like I went to school in a city.
Girl, you know you went to PWI.
Listen, I got 2 pair too, and I still got them. But we got all 4 seasons. But like y'all remember, well, they're still wearing, but like pink, like the jumpsuits from like Victoria's Secret pink.
Oh, you young,
and like wearing.
I be seeing some 40-year-old women in them damn things, and I be like, y'all
queen. Wasn't a thing when I was in college.
Oh yeah,
but I also went to a very white school where Abercrombie and Fitch and like Aeropostale and all that stuff. So like people didn't dress up. A lot of people wore like pajamas and shit to school, which like I couldn't get past because my mama was the type that would beat your ass if you walked outside with your socks on. So I don't know. Like I never got into the whole pajama thing, but I definitely used to just remember throwing on like some leggings or like workout pants and like a big ass oversized sweat. Like you don't realize at that time I didn't realize like how the white people around me were influencing still how like I looked or I dressed, because it wasn't just me though. Like I even think about like what my friends were wearing too, and like even though it wasn't exactly like what the white people were wearing, like it was very closely like related. But like when it came to Thirsty Thursdays and like Fridays and shit like that, like
Thirsty Thursday,
you did not want classes after Wednesday, like so you were trying to fit in your schedule to where you used to go to school.
I didn't even go out much when I was in college. Like my freshman year, I was in Xavier, I was in New Orleans. Yes, we Bourbon Streeted. We did go out, you know what I'm saying? But it was a crazy thing. I was there my freshman year. During the week, we had a curfew at Xavier, 12 a.m., 2 o'clock on the weekend. So it was this club right across the canal from Xavier. We used to run out the club at like 1:58, run to the door to make sure we got in on time, because if you didn't get on time, you had to go somewhere else.
My school, so what I've heard from other people's campuses, like there was a woman's dorm or like a men's dorm or like people couldn't come. Like fuck that. We had the women's dorm and the men's dorm, but like people would stay the night. Like you could check in people any time of the day. We also were not a dry campus. We sold alcohol at our games. So it was like we had a bar right across the street from our school. And
that's
like,
how you can tell. That's some PWIs. That's when the money is there. Because the alumni is not about to come to games sober.
No,
they be buying drinks for the kids. Like the alumni will raise hell if you say no alcohol. That's the PWI.
Football games,
man.
Okay. Tailgating,
man.
People didn't even go to the game. Like also, our football field was like sloped down, right? So if you parked in the parking lot and you just stood around the fence, you could still see the game.
Yeah.
So people would buy tailgating packages, which don't get you tickets to the game. Actually, to go to the fence, you tailgate. You watch the game from the parking lot, like. Shit was crazy, and I did sports medicine my last 2 years there. So I was an athletic trainer.
Football players,
listen. When I tell you football players are so they're divas, y'all. Do not let them niggas ain't shit, literally. So I had made a pact that we was like, we not gonna mess with no football players. I held my end of the pact.
Did you?
I did.
Good job.
I used to date this guy. Well, I don't even want to say I dated him. and I'm not even going to give out too many context clues because people will know who I'm talking about. They're listening to this. But I remember our first time going out on a date, we went to a club. And he bought a section and a table, all this and all that, to go back to his house. And like, I used the bathroom, and there was like some medicine on the counter. So I'm reading because I'm nerdy. I'm like, what the fuck is this for, right? So I'm like looking it up. It comes up and it says it's like for back pain or whatever, this, then the third. But it wasn't like it was one bottle. It was like 2, 3. I was going through this shit. I opened up the medicine cabinet and it was some more pills. And this nigga had the nerve to try to like have sex with me, and I was like, I don't know what you got. Like, I don't know like what's going on. I didn't tell him that, but in my mind, I'm like, no. So I remember
that helped you keep your end of the bargain.
No. This was before I actually started doing athletic training. He tried to take me out. So then when I became an athletic trainer, I remember we were it was during practice, and we were on the field on the sideline. And he was like talking to somebody, and I could overhear him saying like, yeah, she came to my house, like trying to blow up the situation, pretty much trying to make it seem like more than what it was. And I was just sitting there like, okay, like I'm not about to argue with you on this football field about like what did or did not happen, because then I felt like it would make me look guilty. Yeah. So then he proceeds to try to take me out on a date again. I go because I needed to check him. So I go out on the date, and we sitting there, and I just remember going off. And so we in the car.
You got a history of blowing up on people in restaurants. I see.
Yeah. And so I remember going off. And we in the car, and he like look at me, and he's like, so you mean to tell me you ain't never want to have sex with me, and blah blah blah. And I was like, no nigga, I ain't never want to have sex with you. No, and then he was like, so you gay or something?
Just a joke.
And he went back and was telling the players that I was gay, and I remember just being like,
you can't win with these
your
boys.
Fucking ego is bruised. Like,
you can't win.
All this pussy in the world, and you bad.
You gotta beg me bad. Listen. Listen.
And in that moment, I was just like, nah. But like while I was there, I had like talked to like 2 white guys, because I like it was just awkward. And I was just like, you know what? She
got jungle fever.
No, they had jungle fever.
Hey, that sound like that situation where that girl was gay and she was in a relationship with you. So
in high school.
So supposed to be in a relationship with you.
But you don't be in a relationship.
I wasn't in a relationship with him or her. I don't even consider that I even dated dude. But the girl liked me, and she would write me letters all the time. Her name was Ashley. Don't say her name because I know she don't. If I came up and slapped her in the street, she probably wouldn't know who I was, and I wouldn't know who she was. Anyways. It was my freshman year of high school, and this girl liked me, and I did not like her back, but she would buy me stuff and like buy me food, so I let her buy me food.
You accept the gifts.
Yeah.
So y'all was in a relationship.
You had a part in it.
She was in a relationship with me.
She couldn't.
I was not in a relationship.
Yeah, without you receiving the stuff.
I told her I did not want to be in a relationship. Y'all not gonna bully me into being in a relationship. I was not in. I promise you.
I see what's going on. You was leading that pole baby on.
No, baby. I told her I do not like girls, and I do not want to. No offense to people who do like girls, but I do not like girls, and if I did like girls, it wouldn't be you. So I'm not.
But you wouldn't take her gifts though. If
she bought it. What's the point of it going to waste?
Cause she was.
She could have gave it to a girl that liked her. She could have ate her feelings away.
Yes.
But she didn't. She gave it to me.
Crystal was like, she ain't passing up no free meal. She gonna go to dinner. She might cuss your ass out, but she gonna go to dinner. You know what I'm saying? She might get called gay because of it, but
listen,
Chris.
But it just kind of, when you were talking about the football games, it reminds me of like HBCUs, like the football experience is like no other because of the band. But the only time that I can compare the football games, like a PWI to HBCU, are the classics or homecoming.
Yeah. Because
like a regular football game is not them. Well, only people for Alabama A&M. I can't speak because for Tuskegee now. They games be all they games super crunk. They got a small ass high school ass field, but they students be super crunk. They got like this shed. All the students sit under the shed. I don't know if they have lights now, but at one point they didn't have lights, so they had to have their games during the day. And it's real hot out there.
Black.
But them students be super crunk at Tuskegee all their games, all right. But speaking for A&M, like all regular games weren't crunk unless it was the homecoming or the Magic City Classic, which is in Birmingham, a rival game, Alabama State. And so many people come, they shut the entire city down, like the whole downtown, they kind of close it off.
Yeah.
So they have places where you can park. And then you waiting at the parking lot for a bus. So they have shuttles shuttling people all day. You can't drive around the stadium. Yeah. And I swear, the last time I went to the Classic, as I drove, it was not a dark, but like a light brown haze. Y'all know what that was, right?
Oh, yeah.
Barbecue.
From the barbecue,
Yeah.
barbecue. Man, black folks out in droves, like, you know, it might have been like a few incidents, you know, of violence.
Right.
But for the most part, black people be out there tailgating, playing all types of music, all types of foods. I mean, it's amazing.
That's interesting. I went to a TSU homecoming game.
Hold on, when y'all said y'all know what that was, I was not thinking about the barbecue pit.
What were you thinking about? Some weed?
Yeah.
No!
You know how much
weed and hamburgers and chicken and shit. That's
you
what
know
that
how
was.
much weed that
I went to one event, and it was after the night before having had a crazy ass night on the road. I don't know if anybody got that one, but I walked down University Boulevard and was like, I gotta go back home because I was just tripping too hard. I need to go back home.
That's funny you said that. I remember being high at a game. I had an edible, and where we were sitting in the student section, I was right next to the band. When I tell you, I was just sitting there. My friends was looking like, y'all, she gone, like the tuba is totally in my ear.
I was up, standing up on the bleachers,
and I was like, I was like in a daze.
Yeah.
Like it was just. Yeah. It was one of the best experiences, but when I tell you, like, my ears was ringing later. Yeah. Because I was just sitting here, and everybody was like, yo, we gotta go. Like, yeah, we gotta go.
Man,
we gotta go.
Just one experience. The experience at the PWI. So my brother's like a Division I football coach, so I can go to games if I can make it. So just being there, all them white folks, bro. They school spirit on point.
They don't be having no shirts on. They be having
like. The most recent is blue and white, Kentucky. Going to that game, blue and white everywhere. White folks everywhere. They crunk as hell, drunk as hell. They all the way live, and I love it. The atmosphere, like, after I'm there for so long, I'm really drained. But when I'm there in the beginning, like, the energy is off the chain. You know,
just imagine being on the field, though.
Man.
Like, the games would be a lot of fun. I was
on the field.
Oh, duh. Yes. But, like, being on the field and, like, looking up into the stands and stuff like that, like, it's also very intimidating, too, at the same time. Because it's like anything that you do, people can see.
Man, drop that flag.
I used to want to...
so narcissistic.
Drop that flag.
Ain't nobody looking at you.
If you fuck up, yes they are.
Yeah.
As the sports medicine person.
Let somebody fall on the field and your ass ain't paying attention and you come running out. You late and you the last one with the fanny pack jumping behind you. You late
with the fanny pack.
So I used to always want to get the rest so that I could only run so far so I could hurry up and get off the field and go back to the side.
I bet that was cool though.
It was.
Because just traveling with the band and just being there on the field. Magic City Classic was the livest, you know what I'm saying? The stadium was filled, not necessarily filled because, it don't get that filled, but it's packed. But just looking at all those people looking at you, like when you're in the band, they might not be looking at me, but somebody looking at me. Somebody over here looking at me.
Somebody
it was very intimidating, but after so long, like you get into it, you remember your routine, you start grooving with the music and everything. Yeah, I love it. That was a great experience.
We used to have something called Drill Bowl when I was in Little League, like cheerleading and stuff, and it was a big deal. So I guess I could kind of I guess I could kind of get it.
Ebony was too cool to be worried about.
I mean, first of all, I'm awkward as fuck in terms of dancing. So like that.
Oh, you was dancing, bro?
Yeah, I used to dance.
She used to cheer too.
I used to cheer.
Oh yeah, I remember you said you used to cheer. I remember.
But I mean, that don't mean that I'm not awkward, and so I didn't do all of that. But I don't know. I think because when I be afraid to do stuff, I be like, somebody gonna see me. I'm like, these niggas don't know me. They gonna forget about me tomorrow. Like I might be the girl that fell, but they don't like know me. You know what I'm saying? So I be trying to be like, I'm small. It was something I forgot already. I'm sorry. Oh, Prairie View just they built they built the stadium, and I have not gotten a chance to go to it. And but I mean that tells you, we really should. I mean that tells you how big football is there, and it always was or whatever. So I think I want to go back and live that experience because I just did it.
And take your boys so that they can see representation.
Exactly, see representation. They actually, for homecoming, I really wanted to go, but you ended up being gone. And
Magic City Classic, I'm sorry.
It's fine, but I was really thinking about not on show.
Homecoming.
I was really thinking about going or whatever. And taking the boys. I wouldn't take the boys.
That would have been cool to tailgate or whatever.
Yeah. I mean,
it don't take much either.
I remember driving to Prairie View for like a fucking toga party and making our togas. Our togas was so beautiful. Our togas was gorgeous, honey. And,
I think I remember seeing some of your
white folks had toga parties too.
Yeah, well, that's what happened. I had a toga party the week before at my school at my PWI. And so I made the toga for me and some of my roommates. And so like the black girls, they was like, oh, your togas are nice. Like, and we gonna go to PV. You wanna come? And can you help with our PV? Can you help with our togas or whatever? So we all did that. And so it's like I was friends with a couple of black kids, in my PWI, but it was still kind of like a.
I ain't never partied with the white folks on campus.
I definitely did. They would be doing slip and slides. They did these big ass slip and slides with garbage, like garbage bags and stuff. I bet that was
fun as hell.
I mean, they used to do beer runs
all the time when I was
the cross country team would do
the
beer
parties. It was either the athletes who threw the parties or like the fraternities, and we didn't have too many like the 9 sororities and fraternities on our campus, but like you definitely had the paneling. I don't know shit. But
Delta Gammas, y'all had Delta Gammas.
Delta Gamma, Delta.
Delta Gamma.
Teak or some shit like that. I don't know. But
I guess that's an interesting question. Why didn't you pledge your Ebony or Safi?
I think that's Chris. Safi was like Ebony or Safi.
Yeah, I was like,
and then she laughed. She was like, oops, Bleirdos moment. Sorry, I had to call you out, but it was too great to not put out there.
I think by the time I decided I wanted to pledge, I realized like I was leaving, and I don't think that I would have really got that experience that I would have wanted maybe my freshman year or my sophomore year. So like it didn't, and I wasn't heavily researched enough to be like one over the other. Yeah. I used to be in like I was a Zeta Arcanet under Zeta Phi Beta sorority when I was in high school. For reasons we won't discuss, I needed some community service hours. So I joined that because I knew that was like the easiest way for me to fulfill those. So like going into college, I had an idea about a sorority, but like my aunt was in a sorority. I have cousins that are in sororities. I have friends that are in sororities, but like that wasn't a big thing for me. Like I had a goal when I went to college, and like that was not in my game plan when I went there. I think it definitely was like probably something auxiliary or like something extra that I could have done when I left there, but I wanted to do it. I had interest in doing it, but it just the timing never quite worked out, and at some point I was just okay with like leaving and like I can't miss something that I don't have no experience in. So that was cool. Like I don't.
But looking back, like not knowing more about sororities, would you have done it?
Probably not.
Okay.
Just because I can't say that I wouldn't have. I might have had the timing been better maybe. But like I don't know because I was so busy doing other things too. Like I was busy. I was working 2 jobs. I was doing sports medicine. I was trying to finish up. I was applying for stuff. Like, it was just, I knew I wanted to move, so I was trying to figure out my game plan after I graduated.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a lot of stuff going on, and at that time, like, that wasn't my focus. Plus, I was a 5-year student, so by that point, I was ready to get the fuck up out of there. Like, all that other stuff was like unnecessary. And it's crazy because I was taking up CrossFit at that time, and I was like the only black girl doing like CrossFit. But like I enjoyed it. Like that was probably the most healthiest point. Like you said, when you were in the band, my last year of college, I was probably the most healthiest I had ever been. Like I was going to the gym twice a day. Like that was my focus, and I was going hard. So like I basically scheduled my life around my gym time. Yeah. So like all that other stuff, I was meal prepping, bringing my shit to school. Like I worked at the student union, so I would just leave my lunch in the studio, and I would be at school from like 6:45 in the morning till like 8 o'clock at night when I finished leaving the gym, and I would go home, sleep, get up, and do that shit again. Yeah. So it was like I really didn't have time to do anything else. One, because my friends had left by that point. Yeah. I was the last one there. Joe had just graduated. No, it was me and Nay. Me and Nay were the last two there, but like she lived off campus. She was doing hair, so we were trying to stay connected with each other, but like she got hair appointments, and I'm like, so it was just like I had another good friend there, so it was just timing just wasn't. Yeah, my focus wasn't there. Yeah, my focus wasn't there.
Definitely, yeah. I ain't do it. At one point I wanted to. Then I was like, nah, they too cliquey. It ain't for me. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I just didn't like it.
But you gotta think about it though, like everything is cliquey, like in school regardless. You know what I mean? Like you're in an unofficial type of organization, like we called ourselves the fucking group. Like we literally would call ourselves the group. So it was just like it wasn't a sorority, but we definitely had a sisterhood. We definitely had like,
and that's what I feel like I could find at other places, and I just. You know, the strictness of it, the pledging process, it just seemed kind of silly to me after a while. Like, am I really going to go through that?
That was
like, my thing. Just rushing and,
some people call it paying for friends.
I mean, that's understandable. And a lot of people who are going to hear this going to be like, that's awful. That's not true. No, you know, like they love it. But for me, it just wasn't for me or whatever. Because a lot of people are still connected to their sororities.
And there's
on
benefits.
A regular basis.
There are benefits from it. And so I like that part. You know, it's like that Aggies hire Aggies. You know, there's a lot of it. But for me, I think I've always been a little bit too wayward for that shit. Like, I really have. Like, I'm not really good with, like, following rules and systems and things. So it was never going to work for me, ever. I was never going to be good at it.
Why didn't you say?
Well, for me, I actually attempted the band's sorority, Tau Beta Sigma. I went through the interview. I made the cut. And I did, like, few nights of pledging. But one night of pledging, we were doing some exercises. And somebody had their dog there, and I was sweating, and the dog licked my sweat off the pavement, and that just clicked in me. Like, I became really upset. I stood up, and I don't remember what I said, but I walked out. And I just, first of all, I want to say much love to the president at the time. Like, I had a lot of respect for her. But the other young ladies, I didn't have much respect for them, and I was like, I ain't finna be doing no shit for them like that, and I don't have no respect for you. Yeah. So I was like, hell no, I'm not with that shit. Yeah. You know, so
like that's what you need to like build like camaraderie. Like I gotta tear you down to let me build you up. I didn't understand. I gotta see your endurance. But I'm like, shit, we go through shit all the time as sisters now, and like that is not how we lift people up. So I
wasn't with that shit at all. I mean, much love to the ones that cross, you know what I'm saying, from the group that I started with, but hell no, that shit wasn't for me.
Just the idea with giving a little bit of power, like what people would do.
Yeah, they really, I hated that shit.
That bothers me.
Like how we would have to go on when we was with the band, and you know, how we had to kind of sort of bow down to them. Hell, fuck no, I'm not bowing down to you because I don't respect you, first of all.
But do you want somebody to bow to you?
Hell no. Exactly. I can't see myself doing. I can't see myself doing nobody like that. Even with being in the band, like each little section had the pledge. Like, fortunately for me, the flags didn't have to go through nothing like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes old flag members would come, or just old members of the band would come and watch our practice, and they would try to talk at us a certain way. And I'm like, hell no, we ain't pledging. Yeah. We ain't got to do that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? We come here, we practice, we good, we do what we got to do, and we go home. So it wasn't for me.
I think this situation had happened, and I think my friend was thinking about pledging deltas, and we was at this party, and the girl tried to pick a fight with her because I guess she like said one of their calls, and
they serious about that shit.
She went up to my friend and was like, I think she asked me something. I was like, no, but if it was, then what about it? Like, you know, at that point, I'm just like, what you gonna do? Like, y'all gonna beat me up? Like, what y'all gonna do? Like, y'all gonna hit me? Like, it was just so, like, it just seems so meaningless. Like, and I get it, it's sacred. You know, it's the same thing how we talk about, like, a cultural appropriation. But I want to be in this, like, that's not the way that you demand respect. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, I couldn't do it. I'm sorry. I just, it wasn't for me. I wasn't finna step. I don't dance in public. Like, but I love watching it, and I think it's beautiful. Yeah. So, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah. I think that we definitely all, like, looking back and having this conversation about, like, what school we went to, as different as each one was, like, they're still the same, like, in terms of, like, our experiences. Like, you go through your ups and downs, whether you at a HBCU trying to figure out how you're going to fit in with black folks who ain't like you.
Right, and all over the United States.
And then same thing with PWIs, and I think that, like, had we not had our respective individual experiences, we wouldn't be the people that we are today. And so I don't regret my experience, and I just love hearing about other people's stories, and I think that we definitely came up in a time and going through stuff like that when you're in your early 20s and you still trying to figure out who the fuck you are, and like how you gonna exist in, like, a
so
space.
many opportunities,
or missed opportunities, and it's just like
I went through that. So yeah, it was difficult, but I don't even think I would do it all over. Like, I hate the missed opportunities, and I wish I could capitalize. Hindsight is, 2020, but nah.
Yeah, I don't think I would do my undergrad over.
I would do that shit over 10 times. What are you saying, man? I'm sorry.
Because I
had
like
so
learning
much
from
fucking
life.
fun.
Just learning.
I would do that shit over the same motherfucking way. Yes.
I had a lot of fun.
Yes. The same motherfucking way.
I had a lot of fun, but I do not miss being broke. I do not miss.
Man, I've been broke all my life, so that wasn't nothing new for me.
And I don't give a fuck. I don't miss that
wasn't new for me.
I love the romantic side of it, but I don't miss it.
I feel like
I'm still broke.
I feel like I sleep so much now, and when I say I sleep so much, like, I have a set bedtime because before my sleep was so fucked up. Like, and like
mine too, but shit.
I don't miss, like, I don't miss staying up till 1-2 o'clock studying for a class I don't give a fuck about. Like, I don't remember. I don't miss certain aspects of that. So I think, like,
I'm done.
I think if I had to do it over, I would do it over in grad school. In terms of course, grad school is different. Like, you're not gonna be, like, on the yard like that. Well, shit, you might be, but I think that, like, knowing all the shit I know now, I can apply that to, like, grad school and do grad school better.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
But I would not do. I'm not trying to go to grad school.
I'm trying to go to grad school and be better from day one.
I do too much work as a teacher. When I come home, I can't fit no shit.
Man, I know somebody that's in law school right now, and she say it's not even nearly as stressful as it was teaching.
I'm still through. I don't want no more school.
Yeah,
I'm done.
You done?
I do kind of sort of want to be a doula, a midwife.
I've always wanted to do that, but when I look at the stuff you gotta go through, I've been like, I'm not about that life. Actually,
I know someone who's a doula, so I
really?
can give you
hook
her
up on that. Yeah, for sure. Because I wanted to do that too. I wanted to, especially like the process of, like, before and after. It started with me wanting to be a lactation specialist because I believe in nursing.
Yeah,
and definitely. I think a lot of people quit before they've gotten through, like, the hard part.
I did.
And so, oh really?
Yeah,
See,
2 months. I only did 2 months.
It's the hard part, but then it becomes a stride, and so that's where it started. Then I wanted to be a doula, but I mean, that was always my obsession. Yeah, I actually have a friend that's gonna be birthing her baby at home But yeah, I'm excited about it. Shout out to you, Nas. But with that being said, this is our episode for today. But we want to hear from you guys, like HBCU
versus PWI.
What did you like about it? Tell us about it. You can comment on our social media pages. Facebook.
We have a poll up on our Instagram right now.
Oh, yeah. So make sure you check the poll out. And yeah, do you like it? HBCUs or PWI? What's your pick?
Yeah, we'll definitely post the results
and let you guys know. And just tell us about your experiences. So maybe we can, because we're gonna get into a little bit of storytelling later. So tell us about your experiences. Feel free to inbox us and message us with questions, comments, and any concerns. We might have some history wrong or whatever, but don't be negative, because as Safi said, your
ass will be blocked. Okay.
All right.
Follow us across all social medias at Bleirdos. Spell it, ladies.
BLEIRDOS. Stay weird, friends.
Peace.